Blight Survival is a highly anticipated co-op action horror game set in an alternate medieval history where a mysterious blight has spread across the land, turning the dead into terrifying monsters. Players take on the role of mercenaries tasked with battling these creatures while uncovering the dark secrets behind the blight. The game offers intense combat, looting, and exploration in a gritty, atmospheric world. Stalker 2. Heart of Chornobyl is the long-awaited sequel in the iconic Stalker series, known for its blend of first-person shooter, immersive sim, and survival horror elements. The game is set in a vast open-world representation of the Chernobyl exclusion zone, offering more than 60 square kilometers of dangerous landscapes to explore.
Зараз час такий. Час можливостей.
Усі ці жертви, усі ці смерті. Який в них сенс? Зона така, якою бачиш її ти.
DayZ Frostline is an upcoming expansion for the popular survival game DayZ, introducing a new map called Sakal, set in a harsh, winter-themed environment. The map spans 83 square kilometers and features frozen lakes, snow-covered forests, volcanic areas, and industrial zones. The expansion adds new survival mechanics, like advanced temperature management, fishing, and dealing with extreme weather conditions. Players will also encounter new wildlife and enemies in this challenging new landscape. Eden Crafters is an upcoming open-world survival and crafting game that tasks players with transforming hostile planets into habitable environments for humanity. The game focuses on terraforming, resource management, and automation, allowing players to build factories, manage resources, and alter the environment to create a new Eden. The game supports both single-player and co-op multiplayer modes, offering a vast 144 km2 world to explore and shape.
With determination, you'll turn deserts into forests, toxic lakes into clear waters. And behold, the once hostile world will be a new Eden. Not just for you, but for all of humanity.
Hopeland is a post-apocalyptic action-adventure game where players navigate a chaotic and ever-changing world after a catastrophic event. open-world survival game developed by Flipswitch Games. Inspired by H.G. Wells' classic sci-fi novel, the game places players in a world where humanity is on the brink of extinction due to an alien invasion. Players will need to navigate a world filled with hostile environments, alien machines, and other survivors, all while trying to stay hidden and survive. Once Human is a post-apocalyptic open-world survival game developed by Starry Studio. The game plunges players into a desolate world where humanity has been transformed by an alien substance known as stardust, giving them powers but also creating horrifying mutations. The gameplay revolves around survival, base building, and combat against various monstrous entities. Players must manage resources carefully, as the environment is hostile and full of dangers, including enemy factions and eldritch horrors. Rooted is a post-apocalyptic survival game developed by Headlight Studio, heavily inspired by The Last of Us. Set in the year 2100, the game takes place after a global bacteriological war has led to the collapse of civilization. Nature has reclaimed much of the environment, making it both beautiful and dangerous. Players must gather resources, build and upgrade their camps, and fend off threats from both the remnants of humanity and the wild. The game supports both solo and co-op gameplay, allowing players to team up to survive in this harsh world. Beneath is a first-person action horror adventure game developed by Camel 101. Set in the terrifying depths of the ocean, you play as Noah Quinn, a deep-sea diver who must navigate a treacherous underwater world filled with monstrous creatures and hostile human enemies. The game emphasizes resource management, tactical combat, and maintaining your sanity as you uncover the dark secrets of an enigmatic underwater complex.
Useful, but not a viable escape option. And they're trying to kill me. But I can't leave before... There are creatures inside the stations. Most of the scientists are dead. These things are not from this world. What I've seen here defies all logic. Nothing makes sense. There's no way out of here. I'll have to go down below. Assuming the place they mentioned really exists. What they say is true. If this gets out, we're all in danger. If anyone's hearing this, send help. Now.
Dune Awakening is an upcoming open-world survival MMO set in the iconic sci-fi universe of Frank Herbert's Dune. Developed by Funcom, the game promises to blend the survival elements of games like Conan Exiles with large-scale multiplayer interactions, allowing players to explore and survive on the harsh desert planet of Arrakis. Players will need to manage resources, build shelters, avoid massive sandworms, and navigate political intrigue as they gather spice, the most valuable substance in the universe.
Players will assume the role of a young noble, navigating a treacherous web of political alliances, mystical powers, and formidable adversaries. As you step into the shoes of your chosen character, you'll witness the birth of a hero amidst a sprawling narrative, exploring a meticulously crafted open world that stays true to the essence of Arrakis. What sets Dune Awakening apart is its innovative gameplay mechanics that seamlessly blend elements of strategic decision-making, intense combat, and immersive exploration. Engage in strategic battles against rival factions, utilizing the unique strengths and abilities of your allies to gain an upper hand. Employ diplomacy and cunning to forge alliances or manipulate others to further your own ambition.
Vorax is a first-person, open-world survival horror game developed by Indigala. The game is set on a Mediterranean island that has been overrun by a deadly pathogen, turning the local population into terrifying creatures. Players must survive by scavenging for resources, crafting tools and weapons, and building shelters to fend off the horrors that lurk in the shadows. First Dwarf is an action RPG with elements of base building and survival, set in a fantasy world where players control a dwarf named True. The game allows players to explore floating islands, build bases, and engage in combat using mech suits. It features both single-player and cooperative multiplayer modes, where players can team up to survive and explore the mystical world. Aska is an open-world Viking survival game developed by Sand Sailor Studio. In this game, players take on the role of a Viking leader, tasked with establishing and managing a self-sustaining tribe in a procedurally generated world. Players will need to build settlements, craft tools and weapons, hunt, Light No Fire is an ambitious open-world survival game from Hello Games, the creators of No Man's Sky. The game is set on a procedurally generated planet the size of Earth, offering a vast and detailed world for players to explore, build, and survive in. Players can create a custom avatar from a variety of species, including humans and various animals like foxes and wolves, and then venture into the world to establish communities, gather resources, and confront challenges. Terminator Survivors is an upcoming open-world survival game set in the universe of the iconic Terminator film franchise. Developed by Nacon Studio Milan, the game places players in a post-apocalyptic world after Judgment Day. Players will need to scavenge resources, build bases, and fend off threats from Skynet's machines and rival human factions. The game can be played solo or in co-op mode, offering a mix of survival mechanics and intense combat as players strive to survive in a world dominated by deadly machines. Sand is a vast open-world PvPvE game where you explore the fallen planet of Sophie. Build gigantic tramplers to conquer this hostile environment filled with mystical anomalies, monuments, and other players. Discover the fate of this fallen world, once ruled by the Austro-Hungarian Empire. In Sand, players are thrust into the desolate deserts of the fallen planet Sophie, embarking on a quest to uncover resources and treasures. Level Zero Extraction is an upcoming multiplayer extraction horror game developed by Dog Howl Games and published by TinyBuild. The game blends elements of tactical first-person shooters with intense horror, pitting players against both human opponents and terrifying alien creatures. The gameplay features two main modes. Players can either take on the role of mercenaries, who must scavenge, loot, and extract valuable resources from dangerous environments, or they can play as alien monsters hunting down human players.
The nightmare began. Now, competing megacorps all over the world are sending mercenaries to retrieve this research data by all means necessary. That's where we come in.
Macabre is an upcoming cooperative multiplayer horror game developed by WeForge Studio, based in Sydney, Australia. The game is set in an anomalous version of Australia, where players must navigate through time rifts filled with interdimensional horrors. Macabre combines elements of stealth, extraction, and horror, requiring players to work together to survive and complete their objectives.
If anything goes wrong, not that it will, I can pull you back out. A lot of folks have come up here looking for answers. It's weird. It's like time runs differently here.
Guys, I think I got something.
We gotta find the others, dude. Shit. Shitty.
The Parasites is an open-world survival horror game set in a post-apocalyptic environment after the fall of a giant meteorite. Players take on the role of one of the few survivors trapped in an infected zone, where they must scavenge for resources, fight off mutated creatures, and uncover the mysteries behind the catastrophic event. The game emphasizes exploration, survival, and combat in a hostile world, with a focus on atmospheric horror. Digested is an upcoming body cam survival horror game where players must evade, dodge, and escape from a massive snake-like creature in a terrifying environment. The game is designed to be an intense, claustrophobic experience with a focus on stealth and survival as you navigate through various levels trying to avoid being devoured by the monstrous serpent. The game uses a body cam perspective to heighten the tension and immersion, making every moment feel like a fight for survival.